Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, music, and technology. And of course, pop culture commentary. I'm Seven, we have Corey, and today we're going to talk about a sea of horror film. Now, it's interesting because normally there's always a portion somewhat near the end of the year. We talk about horror films that people should watch. Now, we're going to bring this to the beginning of the year. And it's still good. And we'll probably do a couple of these because I really like this genre. So, Corey, here's the list for the fans, and you could just follow us. We might not get through this whole list during this episode. We'll see. So, we've got Abandon, The Farm, Abigail, Substance, Alien, Romulus, Talk to Me, Smile 2, X, Maxine, Pearl, Bodies. Let's go. All right, Corey. Abandon. Now, there are tons of films with this title. I did not realize that. So that's a thing right there. So this one's directed by Spencer Squire. Starring
Emma Roberts.
John
Gallagher.
Yep, John Gallagher Jr. and Kate Arrington. All right.
With a minor role of Michael Shanahan.
Yeah. Which did a great job, by the way. Right. And he always does. He's a really good actor.
I'm sorry, Shannon. I say Shanahan. Michael Shannon.
So what'd you think of this film?
It was good until the end. Well, are we doing spoilers or are we just doing overall review?
Overall. I mean, you could say, just don't say what happened, but I feel you. Already where you're going with it. Yeah.
It was good until the end. It left us feeling empty, like it didn't close the story for me.
I agree. I felt the same way. I also felt watching it, it was like, all right, where are we going with this? I think I know where they're going. And then I kept feeling like they kept not dropping the ball because they said the story they wanted to say, right? I'm not going to say they didn't say the story they wanted to say, but I just feel that there was so much meat there, but then no bone struck.
Right. It's like you took us this way, but then you made a left, and then you made an immediate right, and we had no idea where we were going. It just left. Empty is, I can't use any other word than empty because there's so, like you said, so much meat and material that they could have branched off of. I guess it could have been a little series, actually.
It could have been. Well, thank goodness. If they drew that out, that would have caused these problems. And it's not like the acting wasn't good. It was adequate. I mean, it wasn't, for what they, I always try to say for what they were given. Because sometimes I think the actors get such a bad rap sometimes. Sometimes the words on the page are just...
I'm also going to say this. I think there's tiers to horror movies. Like there's A tier, B tier, C tier. I would give this a solid B tier horror movie.
Okay.
It's not the greatest acting. It's not the best story, but it's adequate.
I don't even think technically it's a drama. I mean, a horror. I think it's just drama, really.
More suspense, yeah.
Yeah. Right. And the suspense didn't really go anywhere until the end, you're like, huh? But anyway. So would I recommend this film? I wouldn't. I hate to say that, but I would not.
The funny thing is, I would recommend it as a watch through. Like a Friday night, I have nothing else to watch. Let me watch this. It's a decent watch through, but you wouldn't watch it again.
That we could agree on 100%. Okay, so the next one's called The Farm. Now, I love the concept. I love what you could learn from this, the moral fiber Oh wait, you know what? We didn't even say the plot of Abandon, did we? We should do that
No, we
too.
did not. Okay.
Oh, hold on, folks. So Abandon, you have a couple that move into a new house that had a dark history, dark past, and you watch this couple navigate the dark past of the house. But as you move forward, you realize the couple also have issues that they're trying to work through.
So yeah, the theme, I guess I can say this.
Mhm.
The overall theme, because horror movies have themes, right? And
Right,
this theme currently was postpartum depression.
right.
And so you have a difference of 40 years between what happened with the house versus the new house.
Mhm.
I feel like it's a very miniature story of like Amityville horrors.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I
Would
can
you
see
agree?
that. Yeah, I can
Mm.
see that 100%. Definitely. So, like I said, the intent was very interesting. And oh, you know what? This is where I could see you saying it could have been a drama or a series or like a mini series because of that. But didn't they just try to do a mashup film where it's like a soul food slash Tyler Perry film just mixed in with some ghosts?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It was terrible. But
Yeah, it was a
Monique's in
YouTube.
it,
Hmm.
which I also thought was bad because it was pretty much, didn't you just do this movie? It had feelers of Precious,
Hmm.
right? Some of the lines seemed like it was the same. But anyway, so let's go into The Farm. Now, The Farm, I saw this a while ago, and I put you on to it. But what is let's see, young people get kidnapped and trapped like farm animals after, what is it, shopping at a roadside diner.
Hmm.
So, um, I guess the moral compass is try to get people to feel like animals feel. Would that be the
Do
whole
you see my
film?
face? Do you see my face?
Is it because you're a meat eater? You don't care? Or,
No, the story was just terrible. I understand what they try to do. First off, if you have any history or any issues watching things with like sexual assault of that nature,
mhm,
I would stay away from this film
yeah,
because it just feels like they try to do a very graphic movie with zero plot.
yeah, I could agree with that. The storytelling wasn't the best.
It's been done so many times, as in The Strangers, like, oh, the small town couple, driving across the country, you
Right,
go into a small town and the
right,
locals are weird.
right,
I understand your concept, but I think that they lost themselves midway and they just wanted to torture people.
right. So I would. So the other one was kind of thumbs up, kind of thumbs down. I would say idea, premise, your takeaway, thumbs up, but as a movie, thumbs down. Like it could have been.
Better executed.
Yeah,
Like you said, great idea, horrible execution.
I would like them to do this movie again because it is something that you can. If, let's say like, you know what, I'm not for animal rights and I eat whatever I want to. But just for a second, thinking outside of the box, if you were captured, because that's the whole movie. I mean, it's basically the movie. You know, like what would it be if you were captured and treated like an animal, a
But we
farm
have so
animal?
many other movies, so many movies that have done that same exact concept.
Mm,
This just did it the worst, in my opinion.
yeah. All right, so let's move on to a movie that a lot of people were anticipating, and I just didn't know because even with the trailer, you kind of knew what was going on. Basically, they gave it away really early, which I don't think they should have. But um,
I kind of agree. Well, I kind of agree. I kind of disagree.
okay, which is basically a young ballerina, a little girl that is basically a vampire.
Mhm.
And a group of people were paid to kidnap this young girl, and then they fall into, oh my goodness, we're actually we're actually on the menu. So, first of all, before we get into it, why do you think they decided to give that away so early with the trailer?
So I think the trailer was misleading in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
I think that they wanted to push the little girl actress. I think her name was Alicia Weir, who played Abigail, who did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, she was great. Yeah.
I think the concept was intriguing because people like vampires, people like horror, but there's a lot of comedy that you wouldn't expect, and there's a lot of twists that you wouldn't expect. So that's why I say the trailer was just a feeler, but when you watch it, you'll leave satisfied. It was a great movie, in my opinion.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I don't feel like it was a waste of time. It was a nice ride. Knowing going into it, knowing that, oh, you're not an innocent little girl from moment one. I probably would have figured that out really quick anyway, again, as a writer.
Mhm.
But knowing what they gave away at the trailer, I still enjoyed it.
The classic, hey, we need bodies for this centuries old vampire. We'll put you in this mansion, lock you in, there's no escape. How are you going to deal? But then there's a lot of twists towards the end that really left you feeling satisfied.
The twists were nice.
Mhm.
Twists were nice. Yeah. So that's a two thumbs up on this one, ladies
Two
and
thumbs up,
gentlemen.
yes.
Yeah. Abigail's a go. Now, Substance. Now, you could only watch this on one particular, and that's Debbie Moore's in it, correct?
Yes.
Now
Debbie
you
Moore,
could,
Dennis Quaid.
okay. I'm very curious why there's very limited places that you could watch this film.
So, as I did my research, it was an international collaboration between France, United Kingdom, and US for the Cannes Film Festival.
Okay.
And this was that movie. So, in order to push it in America, they exclusively tied it to an streaming app called Movie,
Okay.
and that's how you have to watch it.
Gotcha. So what did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. Like you said, there's a lot of messages that drove home, and they executed it very well. With, I guess the plot is there's a fading actress starring Demi Moore, which is ironic in a way. And
Right.
there is something called the substance that gives you your older self with a twist.
Yeah. So I had issues with the whole download thing. So I'm leading on you on this one for the fans.
Mhm.
Is this a movie that people should watch? Because it seems to be that this particular type of film, there's a lot of movies doing this theme now of either uh, a substance, right, that either
Mhm.
gives you powers, makes you younger, or AI. It's just like the three ways that I'm seeing a lot of films are going now. If they're not doing the franchise,
Mhm.
but do you feel that this is a story that was well told?
It was. It wasn't so much horror.
Hmm.
It was very. It'll leave you feeling queasy for a lot of the scenes. It
Okay.
was more of a thriller, and it had a very satisfying ending. So I would definitely give it two thumbs up. A
So
lot of people have seen it,
mhm.
and they were talking about it.
What was the message? It seems like this is like a message film as well.
The message would definitely give away the plot.
Oh,
So I think it's
okay.
tied into it. So I would just say fading actress wants to get her vitality back, and she goes on what's called the substance. And there are rules. And I love movies with rules that build their own little world.
Okay. So Alien Romulus. Now you could really tell that there's such a love for like Roman history with you know just now let me see, who produced it. This was
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott did produce to make sure. So you
Mhm.
can tell all his films. He either has Romulus, he has Remus, he has even
Prometheus.
Gladiator 2.
Mm.
He made sure he told the story of Rome. Like he is such a Roman history fanatic that he throws that in there every chance he can get. So I wasn't surprised at the title of this film. Now, obviously, this is not a reboot of Alien, but it seems like it fits in neatly in between like Alien 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
That's what I was confused on as well. I wasn't sure. I would
Mm-hmm.
say 2 and 3.
Probably 2 and 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And the same droid is in both.
Yes,
So I thought
which
that
was a
was
nice touch.
that was nice. That was nice. It was also a good way to bring an older actor back in a
Mhm.
creative way. It wasn't that bad.
Really?
It wasn't
I
that bad. It
disagree.
wasn't that good. There were definitely things that I was like, you're stretching reality. You're too much. Like the part with the blood, the acid blood.
I mean, it's aliens. They're
That
going
was
to
supposed to,
stretch reality.
I mean, even fairy tales have some sort of logical truth. Anyway, what did you
That
think of it? What did you think of it?
I thought it was the best alien movie in the franchise. I did like the alien blood twist. I did. It made sense. It made perfect sense because it tied into the first movie.
It did tie into the first. That I thought that was well, and they didn't really push that in the other movies, which is the most logical thing. If it's acid that keeps going, it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be acid that keeps going. Like that's it. So I thought that was, like I said, there were things about this I thought that were good. It is a lot better than a lot of the sequels. I'll give you that.
It was definitely the most disturbing alien from the entire franchise.
Really?
I thought so.
Yeah. So in short, folks, I think we're giving this 2 thumbs up.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah. It's
Must see.
all right. So what is next on the list?
Next on the list is Talk to Me. That's the one I recommended to you to watch. It came out in 2022. It was produced by Samantha Jennings and directed by Danny and Michael Filippo. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I apologize.
I messed. I think I talk to me about it. Keep
So
going.
this is pretty much the monkey's paw.
Okay.
A bunch of college students come across a very spiritual hand that lets you cross over into the other side. And so the phrase to activate it is talk to me. And once you say that, you are enveloped with a spirit and you pretty much converse with that spirit. It's a very cool party trick and it lived in the world. Everyone knew what it did. That wasn't the surprise, but the storyline is surprising. Definitely 2 thumbs up, I would say.
And where did you watch this one on?
It's on DVD, Blu-ray. It's out now.
No, is it streaming anywhere?
I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere because I had the DVD. I saw the trailer and I immediately knew I was going to add it to my collection. Bought the
Oh wow.
Blu-ray, and I was not disappointed.
Hey, you heard it first. But any takeaway, any kind of message or anything on this one, or
Yeah, if you aren't into the occult or anything spiritual, stay away from it. That's pretty much
oh
the message
wow.
every time.
Okay, well, speaking of the occult, so it's interesting. I saw Smile 2 in the theater,
Mhm.
but I never saw Smile 1. So
thought you did.
Well, I did after. So I saw Smile 2, and then I saw Smile, the first one.
Mhm.
And I actually like the first one better.
It's so much better. I
I
hated
think
Smile 2.
so. I think so. So Smile 2 kind of is very reminds me of all those movies. You watch this videotape and you get infected, or you listen to this message, you get infected. So the creators of Smile took it to the next level. Just look at. So I think with this you basically someone kind of goes nuts, demon takes control, which makes you commit suicide. But when you do that and someone watches that happen, they become infected with this demon. And during the process, as you start going crazy, as you're infected, you start seeing people give you this weird smile. At least that's what you're thinking. So you start to go nuts. And I really like the
It's like a
first
spoiler there, sir.
kinda. Well, I mean, at this point, everyone knows that. I mean, you got to go for the ride. I mean, that's one thing I think this makes this a good series because even if someone tells you the basic concept,
But I
you
think it's
still
still
go on
new.
for the ride.
I still think it's so new that people still haven't seen either one or two.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, I'm one of those people. I want to, so and then I saw both of them. But what in your perspective? What was it about two that just didn't hit it like the first one?
So I saw Smile 1.
Okay.
It was so original and creative, right? From the opening scene, I've never been so taken aback. That opening scene just it has you glued, right? Smile 2
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have that effect. I think that there's more of a message in Smile 1,
Mm-hmm.
which is generational trauma. What's the message in Smile 2? There is no message. If
Mm.
they just try to continue on the story with a few jump scares, but that wasn't enough to sell the story. And I guess that's where we've had this conversation before. Like if you build a world and
Mm.
you create certain rules, stick to those rules. They
Right.
broke that in Smile 2
I can
towards the
see
end.
that. I can see that. I like the transition from one to two.
I do as well, but
Right.
after that, they lost me
Right.
because
There are a few questions script wise. We're like, well, I mean, one thing though, without giving away the twist of awareness in two, I thought that was pretty good. But it pretty much mirrored the first one.
I wouldn't say that.
Wouldn't say that? Okay. Again,
Even
we're saying it this way, folks, because if you do jump in, we want you to enjoy
Mhm,
it. It's one of those movies where it makes a difference if I tell you the twist, and it makes a
mhm.
difference if I tell you the major spoilers. It's almost like, well, why watch?
We have to do a spoilers episode of this about
Okay,
all these because there's a lot I
there's a
want to
lot.
say.
There's a lot. This is true. This is
But
very,
even
very true.
in the beginning of Smile 2,
Hmm.
it doesn't make sense how they continue the story based on the rules of how, like you said, the demon transfers from one person to
Right,
another.
right. Um, were you satisfied with the? Well, I'm assuming that the ending of Smile Two. I thought was too big. It was too big. It was too grand. It took you out of the world, kind of like Freddy Krueger, right?
Mhm.
Any kiddies? If you don't know what that is, just Google, figure it out. Or even Jason, right? Like when you start taking Jason out of the woods and Freddy Krueger out of the dreams, it's not the same. Like like you just put him in a mall in Manhattan. It's like not that scary. You're just a weird dude with a bad sweater. You know,
Eh,
just doesn't have that. So that's how I kind of felt with the end. It was like not as special. It's not as creepy. Not as it's that but all this terrifying things happening in your head. That is a very interesting concept.
I know what they were trying to go for, like, oh, where are we going to go next with it?
Mm,
but it left you feeling like this is dumb. This,
Too
how
big.
is this? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh. But what about the twist?
What twist? There was no twist.
I'll just say it this way: somebody was driving, they weren't really driving.
See, and that's where we disagree on, because the rules from part one didn't apply to part two, and that's what lost.
So yeah, we you know what? Maybe we do need to do just a
Well,
spoiler.
yeah.
So you know what? That's where we're at. We could. Yeah, maybe we should do that because I feel like kind of going in.
We
Kind
got
of
4 more movies.
right. I don't think because those are conversation. Like
Yeah,
X, Maxine, and Pearl itself. That's a show by itself.
that's
Bodies,
a
bodies,
trilogy.
bodies is all right. Let's do bodies, bodies, bodies
What did you think about it?
because this is a short conversation. I could have done something else with my time.
I agree. I think it kind of appealed to the younger generation for their type of horror, but for the horror fans, it's a pass.
Yeah, you know what? It was like if you took the movie Kids and tried to make a horror film out.
No, Kids was good. This was not. So I would.
Wow. Wow. All right. So, really quick, got like a few minutes. So, the concept of this, you have a bunch of young people. I guess they were early 20s, right? They were teenagers. Right?
I think they range from, no, they were in college, so
Okay.
1920.
And they
Yeah,
just
because they can buy alcohol. So yeah, they're
they're just partying for the weekend, partying at one of their friends' house, which happens to be super rich. But
they were
some
having
reason,
a hurricane party.
right? And bodies started hitting the floor, and they had to try to figure out what's going on.
So the game was called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Like they turn off the lights, and if you found a body, then you had to scream it. Everyone came running, and it was like a clue who done it, who's the mastermind behind it,
Right.
and the ending was just so
It
stupid.
went from a game to something real. And I yeah, spoilers and stuff like that. I kind of like the fact that the horror wasn't like how it started,
Mhm,
for real.
mhm,
I kind of expected that at some point. I
mhm.
said, you know what? I kind of, and that's the thing when you can kind of figure out the plot and see, well, this is where they're gonna go with it. I don't like that. I like when oh, I had no idea. That was great. Ah, you got me. You know, it was a good attempt. It was a good attempt, but it was like one of those movies like you don't ever want to watch again.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, I
So,
think
yeah,
like they just tried to push Pete Davidson because he was Pete Davidson in a movie, and a lot of the social commentary around him
right.
was relevant. It made sense. It was funny.
So, okay. So we're giving, what are we giving it? Thumbs up or?
Thumbs down. I mean, if you want to watch it, you can. I wouldn't
Yeah,
recommend it.
right. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing your laundry, you have something else to do, you're like, yeah, thumbs down. So listen, folks, thank you for watching this. A downer, but we gave you some good ones. We gave you some good ones.
Mhm.
The first smile, definitely. Alien Romulus, yes.
Yes,
Abigail, Substance.
talk to me.
You're not talking to me. You're not wasting your time because time is very precious. We respect your time. Thank you for watching the show. And listen, by watching the show, we're not only saving your time, but also your money.
Yes.
All right. And that's important. That's important these days. All right. You're watching GEEKCASTER. We're out of here.